In 2020, Edge does get to return to WWE, and not far behind that, Christian appears for an unsanctioned match with Randy Orton, where Ric Flair actually got involved and hit Christian with a low blow, and Christian winds up not taking any bumps, and Orton gets the win. So I think a lot of us felt like, okay, that's it. We won't see him anymore. But we were wrong. The 2021 Royal Rumble, here he comes. Christian is back and highlighted in a major way. He lasts 18 minutes. I make this a big deal because it was a big deal at the time. We thought we'd never see him wrestling again. And he's back and he's here without a contract. His contract had expired. He's just working the show as a one off.
I would have never done that. I would have never. I learned my lesson, the Jeff Jarrett lesson. I would have never done that. I'm not knocking Jeff. I respect him and I admire a lot of things about Jeff. He's resilient and the word I'm looking for. He's a survivor. He's a survivor. He's gone through the territory days and the WWE days and the TNA days, and he's always come out on the other side whole, seemingly to me. And I think that's that's something great to say about him. He's a survivor and a damn good one.
It's a big opportunity for Christian because it becomes a coming out party for the wrestling world. And just 2 months after his surprise return to wrestling at the Royal Rumble for WWE, he debuts at AEW Revolution. This was at the height of the pandemic, so it's down at Daly's place.
And he lives in Orlando. It was a perfect marriage, Connie, because he could drive to work.
Yes,
he could drive, and that you don't think about those things all the time, but he could drive to work, and during this COVID bullshit, which we all look back on and say, God, was all that real? And hey, that's why I bought this place on Jacksonville Beach. I didn't want to stay in the hotel with the talent at my age, and I just didn't want to get infected. I didn't feel like I could survive it, so I bought this place so I could kind of keep a little bit of non-contamination, and no regrets here on that deal.
No regrets, indeed. I mean, waking up looking at the beach every day is hard to beat.
It's hard, man. It's so tough. God damn it, that water.
Tony Khan announced before we heard who this mystery guy was going to be at Revolution that it was one of his all-time favorite wrestlers. And there was lots of speculation about who it might be. It winds up being Christian. Not only that, but he defeats Kenny Omega for the Impact World title on the premiere episode of Rampage. So we know that AEW started with Dynamite, but eventually they would add a second show. And before that second show was Collision, it was Rampage. And on the very first one, Christian Cage beat Kenny Omega for the Impact World title. Boy, that's a crazy sentence, is it not?
Yeah, and it's impressive. And they had a hell of a match. You know, I'm a big Kenny Omega fan and advocate. You know, I don't know what his likelihood of returning to any long degree at AEW or not. Have no idea. I don't ask. I don't tell. I don't know. But Kenny Omega is a gift to any promotion. And he did his, he was a very professional in how he conducted himself in losing the title to a brand new guy. Not a brand new guy in the business, but a brand new talent for AEW. And quite frankly, if you're going to introduce somebody, that's the way you do it. You do it to where it's impactful and memorable. And we're talking about it all this time later.
We know that Christian is enjoying maybe some of his best work right now. As a fan, I'm enjoying Christian Cage more than ever right now. And of all the things that, you know, Tony Khan gets criticized for with the internet wrestling community, because it feels like there's some new controversy every 24 hours that somebody has some fake outrage about. You can't argue that Tony Khan has not done a better job positioning and booking, if you will, or just allowing Christian to do what he does. Like the presentation is just night and day between the way Vince presented Christian and the way Tony Khan presents Christian. Would you
Well,
agree?
the decision maker had a whole different view of the talent.
Yes.
The WWE decision maker, Vince McMahon, didn't like him for whatever reason. Something happened long ago, type thing. Hell, I don't know. Like I said, I always, when I was in charge, I moved forward as if there were no issues, because I couldn't change Vince's mind, but I could put Christian in these house shows, and the agents like Jack Lanza, God bless his soul, they would send in an agent report that record it every night after a show, and Howard Finkel would take that information and make a written report on it, shall we say. And it went to key people, Vince, Bruce got them, whoever was in that booking element, and I got them, because if they were late, somebody was late or somebody laid on their ass and didn't produce, I needed to know so I could correct it. And but yeah, man, that's I just kept pushing forward because I believed in the talent. I believed in the talent. That's like saying Chris Benoit was too short. And I know for all of the various and obvious reasons, we don't talk a lot about Chris, but same deal. Vince had this hard on about short guys. And to some degree, he was right. You know, he wanted, back in the day, if you look back at the old WWF roster, there were giants on that damn card. This huge men, 300 pounders by the score. And at some point in time, which 300 pounder do you like the most? Well, that kind of depends on how they're booked, and it depends on the talent's attitude. But golly, man, it's just, you know, you can't do that. You can't have all the same. That's the great thing about pro wrestling. Look at it today. You got a lot of different body types there. And I think that's the way you should go. Book your talent on guys that are stars that can work, whether they're 6'4" or 5'10". It doesn't matter.
Well, I for one am interested in what's going to happen next for Christian, because I'm not saying my man's going to retire sometime soon, but there's two interesting things that have still yet to be revealed in AEW. Right now, he's running around holding a contract for an AEW world title shot. Jim, if you were a betting man, do you think we'll see Christian become the AEW world champion before it's all said and done?
Yeah, I do. I have got nothing to go on. As I was trying to explain to folks that watch our show every week, which we greatly appreciate. I'm not on the inside anymore. You know, when I see the talent, I see Tony Khan at TV, the one TV a month that I go to. I got a great gig, and I'm appreciative of it. And I like my assignments. I like doing those last two matches on the pay-per-views to add a little sizzle, a little oomph to what we've previously heard. And that's not knocking Excalibur or Tony Schiavone or Nigel McGuinness or anybody. Hey, by the way, last week I screwed up and we didn't record, but we had a best of thanks to Bull Ramus. That Daddy Magic's becoming a nice analyst. He's learned to talk in sound bites. He's got a great energy level when he does speak. It cuts through the clutter. So good for him. You know, he wasn't going to get too far down the road as a wrestler. It didn't seem like. It didn't seem like they had confidence in him, whatever the reason. But he's a lifelong fan, good kid, and he's getting better. And I'm sure that when I see him in Orlando for the next pay-per-view, that we'll sit down and he needs to get some flowers. He's doing a good job. And quite frankly, I'm shocked. I'm shocked that he's doing as well as he is, because that's a hard job. It's really a hard job, especially when you tell somebody to talk less,
Yeah,
and make it mean more. So he's learning that skill. So good for him. I'm happy for him.